Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we're going to be discussing a retirement here as Rasheed Bailey has retired from football. He had announced it on his social media over on his podcast. I'm trying to remember the name of his podcast. Let me see.
The Rasheed Bailey one?
Yes, the Rasheed Bailey podcast. Showtime Sheed. That's what it was. And so, or Showtime Speaks, sorry. Showtime Sheet is his Instagram handle. But Rasheed Bailey had played in the CFL from 2019 through 2024. I have the Bomber background on because he had predominantly played in Winnipeg. Along with...
I don't even know where else he did play.
Toronto. He played a little bit of time in Toronto right at the end. And so, and he had played in Winnipeg with yours truly. And thank you to Zach Caleros for signing this just the other day. And he was fantastic.
Homer.
You're calling me a homer for Zach Caleros? Okay, I'll fucking that's fine. I'll take that title. No, but he had done really well with Winnipeg, and it was one of those things where he never was a 1,000-yard receiver. He never was a receiver that was just absolutely setting the world on fire. But where Rasheed Bailey did really well is he made the timely catches. He made the catches when he absolutely needed to. And so that's where, like, I have a lot of memories of him in the end zone pulling it down. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where I see that, like, I think about that in my memory. I'm like, really? He never had 1,000 yards? But it was because, again, those catches that he did make, you knew about it. You know what I mean? And so his first year, he had played 8 games for Winnipeg, 206 receiving yards. Obviously, that year, 2019, wins the Grey Cup with Winnipeg. In 2021, he played 14 games with 629 yards, had a bit of an increased role, 5 touchdowns, wins the Grey Cup again. He then played, if we just look, why is this not working? He then played for the Bombers, kind of moving forward, 2022 and 2024, 729 receiving yards in 2022, and 508 receiving yards in 2023, with 9 touchdowns in that first year in 2022, and 2023 he got 6 touchdowns. It's a lot saying 2020 something, 2020, like, you know what I mean? They just constantly having to say it. It's a little bit of alliteration, but he had done really, really well. And so in 2025, he actually didn't play after only in 2024. He only played 6 games with the Toronto Argonauts. And I was surprised. Like, it was one of those things where, and we're going to have some other retirings that were like, that we're going to talk about, some other good receivers that I thought could have gotten more longevity. But it was one of those things where, you know what, he had not played in 2025 and he decided kind of to finally hang it up. He had made interesting, though, because in his Showtime Speaks Keep Going podcast, this is just from 3 Down that I'm reading this, he was showing off his game-worn Grey Cup jersey as well as one from his senior year of college. And so if we just kind of take a look at some quotes from that, he had said, "This is my retirement speech. It's hard because this game saved my life, and there's been so many people on this journey that has helped me out, that has helped me get to this point. But I got myself to this point too, and I worked my ass off every day. I was a kid who grew up in the projects. I was a kid who beat and defeated the odds. I'm supposed to be this, and I always had this dream as a kid that I was going to be somebody. I used to stare out that window, growing up in the projects, knowing that I was going to be something. I was staring at the skyline, and I knew that one day I would probably potentially be sitting in that space that I'm in right now and giving this speech one day, walking away from the game." Apologies for stumbling a couple times there. I'm sure he worded it so much more eloquently on his podcast, but he had a relatively good career. And even if we just take a look at his time, he came to the CFL after quite a few years kind of bouncing around the NFL and practice rosters and whatnot. He had played 2 years Div 3 college football at Delaware Valley He got 977 receiving yards his first year, 1,707 receiving yards his second year, 19 touchdowns, really good numbers. And it was enough to get him to the NFL. In 2015, he was with the Philadelphia Eagles, which I believe Philadelphia is his hometown, if that's correct. Yep, he was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Just found it here. And then he had the next year being with both Jacksonville as well as the San Diego Chargers. He was with Cleveland 2017, 2018. He was with Carolina with the Panthers. He never did play a NFL regular season game. Might have played sometime in the preseason, not sure. And so it was one of those things where eventually he found his way to the CFL, came to Winnipeg, and had a fantastic career there. Kind of a last hurrah little stint in Toronto. Didn't really get as much there, but it was one of those things where I got into football relatively late. I got into football kind of just, I'd say 2017 is probably when I really started getting into football. It was right kind of when I was in high school. Kind of saw a little bit 2016, but 2017 was when I got into football, really.
Jeez.
Besides just watching, I watch Grey Cup every year. Besides before that, but I didn't really understand football very much. I had not really gotten much into it. And so it was one of those things where that 2019 time period, funny enough, when the Bombers were doing as well as they were, was kind of a time that I have very much ingrained in my memory. And Rasheed Bailey had done very, very well with the Bombers there, and so I was very happy. Rick's like, you're such a young fool, Carter.
Just reminds me of how much of an age gap there is between the two of us.
To be fair, that's when I said I got into football. I didn't say I was born then. Calm the fuck down.
No, but I mean, no, what I'm saying is, no, it's not that. It's,
yes.
It just seems like that wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Well, the other thing is that it feels crazy to me that I've only been watching for like less than 10 years, because it's one of those things right now I could name you almost I feel like I could name I could name probably a starting lineup for almost every team just because I've gotten so obsessed with this league and whatnot.
So here's my thing is, I've been following the league for a long time. It's just me being a season ticket holder. I only started in 2019, so you figure that's only 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just like before COVID.
I see. So you've watched CFL football a lot longer than I have. However, we've started following it intensively around the same time, is what I'm hearing.
So me watching football isn't what it is now back then. Like, I would watch like a game here or there type thing. Like, pretty much like my thing for football now was what I was for hockey back in the day. So it's not like my big thing for CFL football now is what it was back then. I was more into hockey than I was football. And then it's like, you know what? I'm like, might as well start supporting the team, got season ticket holders, and became a season ticket holder, and the rest is history.
Yeah. But I think, like, at the end of the day, I think I was very happy for the time that Rasheed Bailey spent with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I think he had a really, really good career. Obviously, two-time Grey Cup champion. Was able to experience a lot of that success. And so, yeah, I'm happy for him, and I wish him nothing but the absolute best on his future endeavors. And, yeah, so thank you for coming over to Winnipeg and helping us win in some Grey Cups. As for a lot of folks who had been watching the Bombers for a lot longer, it had been a long time in the making, and then it finally happened. So I think that's pretty much all I have. Is there anything else you got there, Rick? All right, well.
Not really.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys leave a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to that, where you can join up, talk some football, hockey, all sorts of stuff. So check it out. So without further ado, we'll see you guys next time.